Today, we're going to be seeing what would happen if France and England were united in EU4. Normally, these guys fight in the 100 Years' War to start the game, so having France just full annex England at the beginning of the game will probably make them way stronger than they normally are. I just kind of want to see what would happen because normally France is, of course, much stronger than England, but England always is pretty formidable in these games, so we could see them potentially taking out Spain or just being an insane power in Europe. So I'm just really interested to see what will happen. And honestly, I mean, I think it's going to be kind of hard to kind of tell what's going to happen because England is normally solid, but of course, like France is much stronger than England in the game. And I think the fact that France is going to be basically the strongest nation from the jump, potentially like just rivaling behind Ming. It's like they're not the actual strongest nation. Like Ming is clearly stronger, but way up to start the game. And the fact that they don't have to fight the 100 Years' War, just, I don't know, it just puts them in a great spot. And honestly, it'll probably lead to them easily being the strongest. Never tell with these games because always some weird stuff off the game. Muscovy is just stomping done. And we also have the Great Horde, Slovenia, and a little bit of the top of Serbia and Austria just immediately unite together as partners. And Morocco and Tunis have already taken Castile. So Grenada was not able to pick up any Morocco and Tunis, but I guess they were able to just kind of immediately a pretty easy W for these guys. Muslims are going to get kicked out of Europe pretty quickly, which, I mean, sometimes will happen, sometimes won't. Sometimes Grenada will just be chilling here for a while, but it seems like they are getting kicked out pretty early, which means that it'll likely be a really strong Castile and Aragon. Sometimes it'll take them a while to get in North Africa. Once they actually like really start powering up, someone will go to North Africa almost always because just throughout the game, they're almost always strong. The Ottomans are already going east into Georgia. It means they could take a while to start going northwest into Europe, pushing into Europe. And it means that Hungary could be a strong enough wall right now with here in just okay for unification. So they're trying to get the PU back, which normally doesn't happen. Normally Aragon will just leave Naples alone. But it's pretty interesting that they are just fully going for it and trying to take the work with Castile this game, which could be pretty interesting. A piece of it happens in these games because they and now we have a Venice versus Ottoman to begin with. I mean, it does seem like they're kind of getting steamrolled by the Ottomans to start off, but I mean, we will see. Naxos is over here. Let's see if they do get into any. It really just depends on how much men. So I would be surprised if Venice pulls off a victory here. I'd assume they probably lose some of this land here, but that's not really going to hurt Venice that much in the long run. I mean, of course, France is also already going, I believe. Yeah. So Britain, I'm just kind of confused on how Aragon guys, but I guess they're just allies. And it could mean that France is going to immediately take some of Aragon's land. And I think what could happen is the fact that Aragon is a little bit stronger, meaning stomped on. They didn't actually take any land from these guys, but they did full annex Brittany. So, I mean, France is looking extremely strong. I mean, we kind of all expected that from the beginning of the game. So I just want to say sorry to the English viewers. France made more sense taking over England than the probably France was seen as the more probably take the France name and whatnot enough for them to annex them. I don't England than the other way around. Pretty normal. We have a little Poland versus Bohemia war. Bohemia actually looks pretty strong. Also, Burgundy looks really strong as well. I mean, on the same team, and it's going to be France versus Austria, the much stronger nation. And let's look at the war here because this will be very interesting to see. I mean, I would assume it's not close in terms of who's stronger here. So I'd be very surprised to see. I mean, yeah, I think Austria and just watching this and they're taking all of this Burgundian land event that you can do it. So France is going to be extremely strong to start the game. And I mean, just looking at Austria, I mean, they haven't really been hurt that bad. We'll just full peace out Savoy. Austria, and yeah, easy W for them. Just a whole union of England, the Netherlands, and France all together, and like Switzerland too, and some of like Italy, I think. maybe not any Italy. By with Scotland, so maybe you could see a position. And honestly, I think is probably now in the not best spot. I mean, okay, looking at Muscovy as well. Muscovy looks like they're gonna finally full annex. Poland has there, and it seems unlikely. Attacked by France, and Saluzzo was the real target. They didn't even take Saluzzo, so. I mean, I'm assuming that just happened because the AI didn't want to take another piece of land because it would have given them too much, and they won't even take the piece of land that they were trying. And looking at this, I mean, it seems like the Ottomans only took one piece of land over here, so, you know, that's pretty good. And yeah, wow, France just looks, Scotland and them should pretty easily take over Ireland. Has just immediately gotten. It looks pretty normal. The Mamluks survive for probably longer than they actually will. I mean, they're always a nation that I'm like, I just want someone instead of the Ottomans to come out of here and be strong, because the Ottomans will almost always survive the entire game. I mean, they're supposed to be the strongest nation in the entire world here, including maybe France. I mean, I think them and France are almost always like the strongest nations coming out of it at the end of the game. So they almost always have to be extremely strong for the majority of the game. Same thing with like Spain too. Like, they're probably going to conquer a lot of the New World because that's just how this game works. But I do really love to see sometimes when you get the Mamluks being strong and they can kind of force the Ottomans away. And I mean, the Ottomans don't really look like that amazing right now, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they just start stomping on the Mamluks soon and then they just start rolling everywhere else. But yeah, looking elsewhere, we have, okay, Sweden versus Denmark war. So it looks like Sweden was trying to leave and now they're back in the personal union as well. So Denmark has officially, you know, kept these guys up in their little Nordic union. And normally I feel like Sweden does get out of it. So it is kind of nice to see Denmark actually pull it off. I mean, I'm sure they're still wanting to leave, but I mean, I think if Denmark just annexed Norway, they took a bit of land from Sweden. I don't know if I think they normally have this land here. But yeah, I think Denmark, I mean, they really just need to be not like buffed, but I mean, I guess they have the fourth strongest military, but they just need to take over more of Sweden's land because it's just kind of hard for them to keep Sweden under their thumb when Sweden is honestly just as strong as them and a much bigger size than them. And like you can't have a personal union where you're just barely the strongest power. And looking at France, I mean, they're already going into Savoy. So honestly, I think we made France a little too OP here. I mean, we'll see if they can really hold it up throughout this entire game. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, just because they've already started off extremely strong by just being them and England, and then also taking over all of Burgundy also probably helped a lot. It also probably had a little bit of an impact, to say the least. So I think the fact that they already have so much extra land, and okay, never mind. They lost Burgundy somehow. I don't know what happened, but they lost Burgundy. So, I mean, I would still say they're probably extremely strong, but they're not as strong as I thought they were before. And they're just taking over so much land. They're trying to take over Genoa's land, and they have like a coalition against a lot of people. Okay, so this is Venice trying to take over Ferrara, and just Genoa's a member of that. So, but I would assume that France is going to go for Genoa pretty soon, because I mean, I'm assuming Ferrara is going to be easily taken, and probably as well Florence. So yeah, I mean, honestly, Venice looks good, and I think Venice and France are just going to start tag teaming part of Italy here, because it's kind of hard to stop them if you're anyone but like maybe the Ottomans. And it seems like Hungary and Austria, well, I think, yeah, Hungary and Austria did not unite, so it shouldn't, I don't know how Austria even has 61,000 men, but I mean, I guess shout out to them. But I feel like it's going to be hard for anyone to stop them in Europe. Poland and Lithuania aren't united. Austria could even take on France because France has 2 nations combined. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, I guess Castile has Castile and Aragon, so that one did happen. But yeah, Aragon, I would still say, is probably as strong. And okay, Naples is also under the personal union, so they have a triple personal union here with. Was that just a? I think the Mamluks just got stomped on by someone, but I don't know who it was. I guess it was these guys, but I don't really see them losing that much land. I don't know. It did seem like they had some people in the capital area, so I don't know what was going down, but it has been. And looking at France is going for province, whatever. Sweden is this Denmark fully? Oh, Sweden is now alone against Muscovy, and they're getting clapped on. So Muscovy honestly could be really strong if they can take over Sweden, because I feel like Sweden is normally solid and Muscovy is always extremely strong. So the fact that you could potentially put those two together, and I don't know who's keeping them in this war. I guess they're allied with Scotland and these. Okay, maybe Muscovy's not as strong as I thought. Okay, no, they definitely are. Muscovy's killing these guys. They might go for a pretty big annex here. So it will be interesting to see how much Muscovy gets, because, I mean, just look how strong they are. I think Scotland is still going to be on their side, so that could be cool. But wow, France also took over even more of Ireland, and Muscovy took over a huge chunk of Sweden. So Muscovy looks extremely strong to start the game. I mean, Poland and Lithuania, they also seem strong. And of course, Denmark is going to go for round 2 and take over all of Sweden. So rest in peace to Sweden. It seems like they had a little independent run and it did not go well at all. It seems like they're going to get full annexed. Maybe not. Maybe they're going to get puppeted. I don't know. And they just immediately get clapped by everyone else. So, I mean, honestly, it kind of sucks to be them. Yeah, wow. I don't know how they're still in this war. I guess they'll probably peace out soon enough. I don't know what's going on with them. But yeah, Sweden. Yeah, they do. And Sweden gets PU'd again, or restore their union. I would assume they're probably going to be have way less liberty desire because they are much smaller now. And I guess Norway also took a chunk of land as well, this province. So they're much weaker, but I mean, they still kind of are Sweden, but that'll also make it a lot harder for Muscovy to take the rest, which is kind of good. I mean, Muscovy already looks extremely strong, so it is probably kind of good to stop Muscovy from starting to snowball more, because I think if they could attack like maybe Gotland and then only get Lithuania as a fight, or like someone else where you can just take one of these guys on at a time, either Poland or Lithuania, it might be relatively easy for Muscovy to beat one. It just would be kind of hard. I don't know how Muscovy would attack Gotland. And I guess Gotland is also allied with both of these guys, so it would be hard to do that. And these guys are extremely far away. Also, it looks like Hungary is fully annexing the Balkans. Didn't go well in real life, but I hope it goes better here. I mean, Hungary does seem honestly pretty strong. I think they'd probably lose in a 1v1 against the Ottomans right now. But I think with them and Austria being on the same time, Austria also just has a crazy amount of men. I'm just kind of confused how they have 61,000 men in this little tiny country of theirs. But, to each their own. And I mean, France is just insanely strong. I also have this little battle in the HRE. I mean, Saxony is already kind of built up to a pretty solid spot, I'd say. I mean, I feel like they're pretty big. Also have a Castile versus Tunis and Morocco war. Okay. So the French have not been able to stop these guys. I mean, I think Castile and Aragon, I mean, they seem to be two pretty mid powers at Naples as well, even though Naples only has 7,000 men, means that they probably will stomp over Morocco and Tunis and take a ton of land. I guess they're still also allied with Portugal and Austria, so they do have two strong allies themselves as well. But it will be, yeah, they didn't even take that much land, which is kind of sad, honestly. They need to stop Portugal from getting more land than them in North Africa. But I guess maybe these are some good provinces. I guess, bro, they took like 2 provinces here. I think Morocco and Tunis are kind of on the chopping block pretty soon, though, because honestly, they're not strong. And without a strong ally, I mean, technically, wow, they have the Mamluks, but if you just attack Morocco, you just go against Tunis, and that would be a pretty... Also have a Burgundy versus France war. I'm assuming France's coalition finally ended against them. So they started going on the offensive, and I feel like Burgundy is the only target they can really go after at this moment, because I don't know, Burgundy's like, I mean, I think I honestly made them overpowered for what they should be, but it kind of is a power fantasy here if you're a big France supporter. If you're an English supporter, I mean, you know, sucks because they're the ones that got eaten. But yeah, wow. I think France is going to just absolutely cook Burgundy pretty quickly, and they should get a good amount of land as well. I would hope that they just take this, so then there's not this ugly borders, but I'm assuming they're just going to make this look the worst it can possibly look. Because Burgundy is such a huge... But yeah, I think... Is Venice in this war? I also didn't realize, bro, Venice has a lot of the papal state they've taken already. So, I mean, they're already kind of consolidating a lot of Italy. And okay, wow. They actually didn't make any border war. Actually, it looks really good what they took. So, honestly, shout out to AI. They went crazy here. They took this. I think they took a little bit up here as well. But, I mean, it looks great. And it makes France look even more beautiful. They've also taken a ton of Ireland as well. There's only Ulster left, and I'm assuming they're a puppet of someone. Yeah. So all of the British Isles has been fully taken by France and their allies. All of France has been fully taken by France and their allies. So France is really doing a lot. Also, let's see what's happening in the New World. We do have Castile. We do have Portugal. And I mean, that's it. Makes sense that that's it. Oh, we do also have France up here starting a little colony in Labrador, I think. Newfoundland. I think this is Newfoundland. This is Labrador. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is Newfoundland. This is Prince Edward Island. Something here is Prince Edward Island. This is Nova Scotia. I don't know. There's so many different names, but this is definitely Newfoundland. And honestly, shout out because they look good. Oh, Denmark also took over Norway. So that's pretty cool. They also have, I think they've gone a little bit further into here. I don't know, but Muscovy hasn't really gone that much east. Looking at Ming is still alive, and they've also pushed into Indochina area. So that's pretty cool. Bahmanis looks like they're the strong power in India. I mean, let's look. Bahmanis looks pretty good. 14th military. 8th military. So maybe Bengal is stronger. I mean, it's almost always just so many different nations that are all competing for the same thing. The Timurids, I mean, they look okay. The Ottomans are now taking over some more land, but the Ottomans really haven't expanded that much. I mean, it would be kind of hard for them to expand into Hungary at the moment. And I mean, I think the Mamluks are the next target if they're trying to go after anyone. But the Mamluks, I mean, fourth strongest army. They have some solid allies, and technically the Ottomans have the seventh strongest army. So at the moment, you could say the Mamluks are stronger than the Ottomans, but I don't think that's the case. Almost always it'll be like, oh, the Mamluks will survive for a while, and then they just get destroyed by the Ottomans eventually. And looking at the New World, okay, so we do have one setup. New Granada is the new colony. We also have Portuguese Brazil is a new colony. Portuguese Brazil is going down here, so I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun time. And Portugal has also moved into the Caribbean, so that's cool. We also have Portugal at Bermuda as well, so you know, they do have a solid amount of land here. Castile is moving further into like the Colombia area, so Spanish Colombia will probably be set up. It is kind of funny how often they go for like the most historical things. Like Portugal always goes for Brazil. Spain will almost always go here. I mean, I guess Portugal was never in the Caribbean, so that's kind of a lie, but it is kind of funny how it works. And it's like, oh, France is also in Canada. Yeah, Muscovy is looking good. It will be interesting to see if Ming can survive for a while, because I feel like by this time normally Ming blows up, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't blow up by this time. Maybe they survive for longer, but I swear Ming normally blows up early. Also, Kilwa. Wow, they have already taken over all of Madagascar. Normally they're just on this side. They're like Zanzibar, I think. So they're like, this is where they start, Zanzibar. So they've taken over a lot. I mean, they've already consolidated a ton down here. So the fact that they're already pretty strong means they might survive for a little bit longer of a time. I mean, if they can go up and like push into Somalia here, I think they could have a chance of fending off some European powers. I mean, I wouldn't say that's going to happen for a long time. I always try and bet on the Inca and the Aztecs, but it's like, it's so hard for them to actually beat the European powers in a war. So it's like, I just don't expect it to happen ever. But it is a little bit easier for like them to do it, because sometimes you'll be able to just fight against like, oh, you're fighting against New Granada instead of fighting against Spain as an ally, or like you're just fighting against the actual colony. So I mean, I could see it. It's a lot harder for these guys because they have to fight against like a whole nation. And also Friesland. Okay, Friesland is colonizing, and they are very small. Also, Burgundy is getting eaten up by France again. So it looks like rest in peace them, but Friesland is starting to colonize. That's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like the Dutch are almost always like the next colonizers after normally like France, England, Spain, Portugal. It'd always be like the Dutch. But, or like, I guess the Danish as well. Sometimes they'll colonize. We'll see if they colonize in this game, but Friesland colonizing does happen, I'd say a pretty solid amount. But the fact that they're in Africa as their first colony is kind of funny to me. It's like Sierra Leone is, you guys are all over here and you guys are a tiny little nation, but you know, to each their own. Austria is taking out, so Austria in France is kind of the next warpath, I think, for France. I mean, I would assume they probably fully finish off Burgundy soon, just because Burgundy, you know, they don't seem to be doing that well at the moment. I mean, just France is so strong. They definitely have, like, if we're looking at the ledger, like by development, I would assume they have to be second. Yeah, it's pretty close between them and Ming too. And then you have Spain, which, I mean, Spain does not have Naples, maybe. No, they take over Naples. They could be even, okay, so they are about to be taken over by Spain. So Spain is about to have a really strong empire, honestly, especially when they get all this New World colonies. But I mean, okay, and France and Venice have also stopped being allies, because I mean, it would be kind of hard for France to really be friends with Venice, because eventually they're going to be in the warpath as well. Austrians. And I'm not going to lie, the Austrians don't really seem the strongest. Well, they do have a little allyship with Spain as well, I think. Yeah, so they are allied with Spain. I think it's going to be tough for Austria to defend all of these people they have. And just like all you have to do is just fight someone in the Holy Roman Empire. And I'm sure you can... and now Austria is now not the leader anymore. It's now Bohemia. So it will be a much easier time for someone like France to come in, just spank someone. Development. Oirat is also up there. I don't know how they have so much development. Okay, I mean, I guess they just have a huge empire that just... I could see Oirat being strong if they can survive the breakup of Ming and take some extra land here. The Timurids also look pretty strong for like what they normally are. If they can take over Ajam, I mean, kind of whoever comes out of this, pretty normal, honestly. They look probably worse than I'd expect at this point for them. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even say they look good. They look pretty bad. But, you know, to each their own. Not everyone has to be an Ottomans fan. And honestly, good that they're doing bad, because who wants to see the Ottomans be good in a game all about France? No one does. We want to see France be good, or we want to see France get smacked by like Spain. And Spain is going for the Incas, so that seems like they will be... Okay, if they can take over the Incas, I feel like they'll easily be solidified as the strongest colonial nation. They also have some colonies in Texas. They have some colonies in like Nicaragua, and they have colonies down here in Colombia. And I guess they just pieced out in that war. So maybe it won't happen right now, but I think if they can take out both the Aztecs, which it seems like they're pretty likely to come into conflict with the Aztecs soon, and the Incas, just like they did in real life, they'll easily be the strongest colonial nation. And they already have so much land here in Europe itself. And if they can push down to North Africa, I think, again, I don't know if they can really compete with France, because even sometimes France can just smack on Spain 1v1, even without England. But I do think having England makes France a little bit in a weaker spot, because they can't just contribute all their men to just the mainland. They do have to keep some men in England as well. But we'll see. I mean, France has 81 ships. War against Bohemia. Damn. Hungary is just hungry, honestly. They're going crazy. Hungary might be stronger than the Ottomans right now, which is a crazy thing to say, because normally, yeah, I say that and they immediately... Okay, I guess what happens is Morocco gets attacked, and Morocco are they guaranteed? No, they're allies with the Ottomans. That shows how weak the Ottomans are, because if the Ottomans are not even seen as a tough ally, and also France going after Morocco, that means that they're just not strong. I mean, they probably will still beat on Hungary over here, but I think Morocco is just going to get killed, and it still will be a tough war for the Ottomans themselves. I mean, it says they're down 7 right now, so... But, I mean, I guess Hungary's really keeping their own here. And, yeah, maybe Hungary is going to win this one. That's kind of surprising. I wouldn't have fully expected that. Okay, maybe, I don't know. It could go either way, but either way, what is happening in North Africa is Spain is kicking Morocco's butt. And the Ottomans, you know, maybe it's just a white piece for the Ottomans. It seems like that war is clearly its own thing. I guess like Tunis. Yeah. So the war didn't really change anything in the ball Hungary, and I think it would be hard for Hungary to attack the Ottomans without having Spain as an ally to help them. And it also seems like Austria and Hungary have stopped being friends with each other. So that could be good or could be bad for either of them, because it could be Hungary attacks Austria or Austria attacks Hungary and they smack on them and they take over more land. But I feel like it probably makes more sense. Like I think Austria is probably the stronger nation right now. So if they attacked Hungary, they could get a ton of land from them. But it will be interesting to see, no matter what, who comes out on top between these two. Because I think they'll get into a war against each other, or one of them is just going to be smacked down by Venice or the Ottomans before that. But we do have a Trier attack by the French. I mean, the French are just going after whoever they can, because are we expecting them to beat France in a war? They're definitely not going to beat France in a war. France is going to beat whoever they want because they're France. I mean, it's pretty simple as that. France is clearly like the strongest nation here. And I think France, I mean, just look at these guys. I guess they haven't, I mean, maybe they're just having a tough time with this war. I don't know where are all their men? They have 90,000 men. Oh, it's just a 50K stack right here. And a 30K stack here. Like, guys, can we control some points? Can we do something? You guys are literally just losing men to attrition. And I'm confused how they're losing this war this badly. They're clearly the much stronger nation, and they're getting smacked. Panine, guys, like what? I'm sorry. I needed to, like, what is happening? Just be in the war. You have all these men. I mean, still, I think they might lose this, but at least, like, I don't know what was going on with the AI there. Okay, they still lost the war by a lot and had to lose, I think, these two, or like this piece of land. They lost a little bit down here. But I was like, come on. Like, this is at this point when it's just like they're getting smacked on by a bunch of random nations that have like a quarter of the men that they have, when they have the ability to just walk over there and attack. It seems a little weird. It seems like it's just a mess up by the AI at that point. But, you know, I guess that's what the AI wanted them to do. And yeah, they do have some big problems. Also, like, I don't know what's going on with France. Can you guys not just... Okay, I don't know. All right, I need to stop going into the game, but France has some problems at this point that are definitely bigger than... I don't know what's going on with them. They have some rebels that they're just not able to deal with somehow. Like, I don't know, how hard is it to just move your men? Like, you have a 52 boat stack here with 40 transports, and you just can't move your men to England. I don't know. I can't keep going in the game. But looking at the New World, it looks like Spain's doing really well. Also, just Friesland has just the weirdest provinces. One here, one here, one here. Like, what is up with this this spread? Like, why don't they just put two next to each other instead? Also, France has just started their own colony in French Canada. The Inca, honestly, look relatively strong. They haven't lost much land, I don't think, to New Granada, but New Granada is also strong as well. So New Granada could be pulling it off. And looking at, Friesland, their colonizing strategy is just funny to me, because you have Friesland down here. You have, all these weird provinces of Friesland. Like, this is also Friesland too. Friesland. Like, it's just nothing makes sense for Friesland. Like, genuinely. I don't know what their colonizing strategy is. They have random people in random spots, and it probably makes it a lot harder to kind of consolidate everything. Also, like, Spain themselves has a weird colonizing strategy. Like, they're not doing the greatest either. Like, Florida is also up here somehow, but yeah, I just knew this would happen to Friesland. You can't have all these weird troops in weird spots without, like, losing some of this land somehow. But I think I mean, bro, all you guys have to do is walk your troops up here, and I'm sure you can win this battle. I don't know. I can't. Just the AI is going to be weird if they want to be. France has big problems. Like, guys, I don't. There genuinely is something up with France. Guys. Okay. Why is this stack not... Like, I don't get what's happening with France. They're just not moving their men at all. Okay, now, okay. I don't know what I just had to do. The AI is just tweaking out on France right now. I guess I just had to move their men out of the 60k stack that they had because the 60k stack is just not working with them. Also, Spain is in a war with someone because they're moving all these men across France. And again, even though I'm helping out France, they have some big problems to deal with. Bro. Okay. I don't know why they're not going against the 32k stack. Seems a little weird to me, but Spain versus Herzegovina, they brought in all these... Okay. I was going to say, why did they bring in all these men? And now I see what it is. It's a Spain, or technically Hungary versus Ottoman war. And I think Ottomans are... I mean, they're relatively strong at this point, but I don't think they'll be able to fight off Spain. So it will be Hungary is the one to take. The Ottomans just are in two different wars right now. One against Russia? Or... Oh, they're allied with Russia? But Russia didn't join this war? I'm kind of confused on what's going on. Okay, I guess Russia didn't join this war because not Ottomans are protecting them for. So, I mean, just the Ottomans look terrible. They're getting destroyed by Crete, technically. And, I mean, Hungary. Like, Hungary is definitely good, but I don't know if I consider them a nation that what I would have expected to take out the Ottomans. They didn't really take that much land, though, so I'm sure the Ottomans are kind of fine. The Ottomans just really need to go after the Mamluks because I'd say the Mamluks are, like, the next most important one. Also, Spain is looking beautiful at this moment. I mean, they look really strong, and the fact that France had all these problems that were going on that I had to deal with and fix, it just shows that Spain could really pull it off. And also we have Scotland up here doing a little bit of colonizing as well. And I mean, I guess Friesland has somehow kept their colonies all nice and safe, but I mean, these guys are just a bunch of idiots. I also have an Inca war against Spain and Rio de Prata. I was like, who is this? But I guess they're just Portugal, and they had a little snake. I'm assuming they just attacked the Incas and got some land. We also have Rio de Prata, the Aztecs. The Aztecs are going after, or the Aztecs are getting eaten by Portugal. Seems like a weird one because, shout out, I guess they probably are. So maybe Spain won't be the strongest in the New World. Maybe it will be Portugal, but I think Spain is a little bit stronger. In Meath, a monastic order is in France. I mean, shout out Meath. I'm just surprised that Scotland also hasn't been full annexed by... Okay, also, I didn't even see this until now. Florence has Rome. I mean, Florence looks great. Also, I guess Parma looks pretty solid. I mean, there are a lot of different little smaller, like, dukedoms, I guess. I guess they technically are kingdoms. Grand Republic, kingdom. So they're all kingdoms, but these like kind of small kingdoms are all doing pretty solidly in Italy itself. I mean, looking at Poland as well, they look... Did they lose this land to Hungary? No, I don't think they did. I think they must have both attacked it, but still, there's just so much land that Hungary's taken, which is just kind of crazy to me because, I don't know, I feel like Hungary is never that strong of a nation in these games, and the fact that they are doing, honestly, extremely solid is just kind of funny to me. Because normally, I feel like Hungary is just, they just get mopped up by either Austria or they get mopped up by, the Ottomans who are taking them over. So it's just kind of funny that the biggest nation right now is Hungary. Seem to just do anything. I mean, now it seems like they're actually, walking around and doing something. So even though, again, I did do a little bit of cheating to help France out, I don't really think it's helped them in the long run. I mean, right now, they're still probably, I mean, they might still be one of the strongest nations, but they're not as good as they should be, honestly. And the fact that Ming has survived this entire time is kind of funny to me too. Just Ming is somehow pulling this off. I guess they've just taken so much land in Indochina that's kind of, I'm assuming they'll still blow up at some point, but I mean, both them and the Timurids, who I feel like are both nations that kind of just get destroyed somehow, are surviving for a while. And finally, the Ottomans go for the Mamluks and are now crushing them. So fully attacking the Mamluks, they were just attacking these guys. But the fact that the Mamluks don't look to be in the greatest position shows that the Ottomans, I feel like, are really back right now. And I think the Ottomans versus Spain is going to be like one of the next big things to happen. While Hungary is relatively strong, I think the real power behind them is Spain. So it will be interesting to see who kind of comes out of this powder keg of the Mediterranean, because it will be between, I think, Spain, Venice, and the Ottomans. And I think any of them could do it, but I think it's pretty likely it's Spain. I just don't know how they're going to be able to take out Venice, because Venice being allied with right now both Poland and France, who I would say combined can easily take out Spain. I mean, I think France is probably as strong as Spain, but that they could take out Spain. I mean, maybe they could, but yeah, I mean, France just seems to be in a bad spot. And it's funny because they're the ones I made OP in this game and not Spain. And Spain is just kicking now Morocco's butt wherever they want. They took out a lot of the Incas. And it seems like the Portuguese, I guess that wasn't, that is Portugal. So the Portuguese are going to be the ones to take out the Aztecs. But I mean, look how much land in the New World Spain has kind of over the American coast, which is probably the best land possible. And yeah, I just think Spain will be really strong. I think Florida is already kind of a nice and strong territory that they have. I guess it's not amazing. Who's the strongest out of their colonies right now? I'd assume maybe New Granada. Yeah, New Granada for sure. It's not really that crazy. But yeah, Friesland just has all these weird provinces, and they still haven't had any of them turn into a colony, which is weird. I guess it's kind of smart in its own way. In a really stupid way, it's smart because if they had a colony, it's probably just going to get gobbled up by one of these other guys. But because they don't have a colony, it's all going to be Friesland land, and that seems like it's going to be a little bit harder to take because they're probably allied with, I mean, really no one. So I think Friesland will be crushed pretty soon, but I mean, we'll see. It seems like their colonies are surviving somehow. I don't want to jinx it too early, but I mean, they look okay. And looking at the rest of the world, wow, Kokomis is, I mean, they look really big, and they're also the kingdom. Pretty interesting because I feel like they will definitely survive for a while. I mean, if you're Christian and you're allied with, because I'd say the majority, also, I did not realize the Holy Roman Empire does not have a dominant faith, but almost everyone in Europe is Reformed or Protestant or something. There's almost no Catholics besides technically in France, which is a lot of religious people. But looking at Spain really is the last Catholic bastion, it looks like. Or I guess they just flipped over to Reformed. They also have Protestant stuff as well in here. But I feel like Reformed would be a pretty cool move by them. I guess Lithuania is technically Catholic, but there's also a lot of Orthodox here. But like Poland is Protestant. Almost everyone in the HRE is Protestant. Venice is Reformed. Like Austria is Reformed. Hungary is Protestant. Everyone is not Catholic, except for Spain and Portugal, which makes all of the New World basically Catholic, which is so funny to me because it's just kind of the opposite in the New World, where, wow, everyone's Catholic in the New World, except for the few French provinces and the few Frisian provinces, which are all Reformed. And looking at, is Scotland? Okay, they're also Reformed as well. So I don't know. This is just it's a funny religion map because I would have never expected this in any sense of the word. And yeah, looking at Spain, okay, Spain versus the Mamluks right now. It will be really interesting to see if, Spanish crusade against the Mamluks. So, I mean, they're going for it. There's almost 50,000 men on the Mamluk side, but I just don't think there's any way they can take out Spain. Spain has 100,000 men. Clearly the strongest country in the entire world now. They have part of Italy. They have Spain. They have North Africa. I mean, they have so much land that it would be very surprising to me to even see the Mamluks come close here, especially when the Mamluks just got smacked around by the Ottomans extremely recently. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But, you know, I feel like they've been kind of holding their own. I mean, they've taken land in Africa, but look at all these Spanish men coming through. I mean, I think they have the troop advantage, but yeah, now the Spanish infantry, I guess, is coming in. And I think, now they have like 80,000 men in North Africa. There could be some weird supply issues here, though. So there could be some nice old attrition. But I think Spain pretty easily wins this war. I mean, let's look at it. They have not even that many more men. I mean, clearly they're stronger, but it's not by that much. I mean, they have like 40,000 more cannons, artillery, whatever you want to call it, than them. They have pretty similar. I mean, and now it's not close. But I guess they did lose way more than I would have expected. And how much land are they even going to take? That's kind of my question. Because although I do think this was a successful war for Spain, this is the first time I've really seen them have like a weakness. I mean, it looks like they took a little bit of land, but this wasn't as successful as a war as you'd expect from someone like Spain. So, you know, sad. And I just don't get that because if you look at like development, France is number 1, Spain, Russia. Ming looks like they're doing the blow up right now. So I got to go check on that. I mean, look at Russia though. Russia looks really good. And yeah, Ming is blowing up right now. Shout out Ming. They did survive for way longer than I would have expected, but they're finally getting blown up. Who are these guys? These guys are colonizers. This is it. Hadramut. Hadramut has 1 colonizer, and they're colonizing Africa. Or, not Africa. They're colonizing Australia. That's so funny, actually. I actually just love... I love what they're doing. Guys, you need to bring a ship over here. But that's so funny that these guys went for Australian colonizing. Spain has South Africa. No one's really gone at all for West Africa here. It's kind of surprising. Looking at South America, mixed between Spain and Portugal, like almost always. But yeah, Kokomos has kind of been the surprising nation to me because, you know, like shout out these guys. They're a tribal nation, tribal kingdom that adopted Catholicism and is just kind of chilling now. I think same thing with Mosquito, who's allied with both Aztec and Portugal. So it could be tough for them. Also, Portugal has taken over a lot of Spain's land in like Texas here. So they probably will have a lot of North America as well. I mean, it seems like just all these nations are just crowding over here for just small pieces of land. We got New Friesland. We got French Canada. We got Noord-Flanders. And there's just so many different nations going for this piece of land. And it's like, but I guess looking at South America, it's probably Spain's continent down there. So I guess it's kind of a trade-off. They gave up North America for taking over all of South America and being the dominant power in the entire game. I mean, they were so strong at the beginning. Also, another thing that's very interesting to me, the HRE is just extremely weak. Technically, you have Austria as like technically a strong nation, but it mainly has been other nations encroaching in, like Denmark, like Hungary, like Poland. They've all encroached in to the HRE, even France a little bit, but France clearly not as much. There also hasn't really been any strong nations. I mean, technically you could say Saxony and Bavaria are kind of like strong nations that have sprung up from the HRE, but I mean, in comparison to sometimes who they'll normally get, it's not really the strongest. Yeah, I don't know. We also have Persia coming from Ajam. I guess Ajam smacked down the Timurids. And looking at Ming. Yeah, rest in peace, Ming. Also, looking at India, we got Bahmanis looking okay. Bengal also looking okay. Delhi also looking okay. Whoever comes out of these three is going to be extremely strong. I mean, they all look pretty promising themselves, but they're going to be strongest if they just all come together. And can Hadramut start like a colony? I'm pretty sure they can start a colony down here. So it's going to be them versus Spain for Australia. And it's always funny because I feel like Spain is pretty often the one that will colonize Australia, just because like they're almost always the nation that colonized that didn't happen in real life. I mean, Spain is also all the way around here. I don't know how New Spain got over here. Spain is just doing a lot at this time. They're kind of everywhere in this game. And honestly, I mean, shout out them. I think the strongest colony, though, I guess probably besides Spanish Peru, is probably the strongest. Maybe. I was going to say like French Canada looks pretty good themselves right now. And looking at Europe, I'm just surprised the Ottomans haven't pushed down more into the Mamluk territory. I mean, they have Persian ally who's pretty strong. They have a Russian ally who I would say was also pretty strong. And the Mamluks don't really have any strong allies. And they seem like they'd be ripe for a beating. Oh my God, Portugal versus Spain war. No way. Might fully be kicked out of. Also, how did Majorca get released? I don't know. Also, Florence has all of these islands. I guess that could have happened. Wow. The Portugal and Spain alliance finally ends. And I mean, this is the thing that I always kind of think about is Portugal is a really weak nation that you guys are supposed to be allies for a while. And yeah, I think that's going to happen. I'm just so Spanish Peru, I guess maybe tried to attack Rio de Plata. Is that it? Like this? Yeah, Santiago del Estero. It was definitely a shell of its former self. They lost 4 provinces out of the 10 they have. So they lost 40% of their provinces in Portugal itself. And they lost Porto, which I'm assuming is probably pretty developed. Looking at economic map modes. Yeah. Oh, both of these guys are developed. So these are developed even more than their capital. So they lost some really good provinces here. And I think it will be hard for Portugal to kind of come back after this. I mean, it's up to your opinion. Also, I guess Hungary beat Venice in a war that I just wasn't paying attention to at all. Maybe Hungary really is an untapped power that we've never thought about. because they look, I mean, great at the moment. Like, they look really good. And the fact that they have Treviso here means that they kind of have a handcuff on Venice. I mean, even though Venice still looks relatively strong, Hungary, rather than the other way around, I don't know. But looking back at France, I mean, they're finally starting to come back into it. I'm just, I guess just all the religious stuff has kind of taken them a while to fully, they were close for a while, but Spain has now officially passed them. And I think, I mean, Spain clearly is the stronger nation at the moment, which is funny seeing that even when you put France and England together, I've never expected that to happen. But, you know, it is happening. And currently, France is not doing as well as I thought they would. And Spain is doing a lot better than I think anyone would have expected them to do, because look at this. This is the Mediterranean Empire. And now they can just smack on Portugal. And Kokomos only has them as an ally. So Kokomos could get taken over by Spain pretty soon. We'll see. They were kind of my last holdout for any original tribal kingdom to survive. But I guess technically they do have a Trastamara king. So I think that's probably the Spanish ruling family as well. No, the Habsburgs. That's so funny. The Habsburgs are the ruling dynasty in Spain. So I guess them and the Austrians just had a little bit of fun time cross-marrying the families. Yeah, that's just insane to me. But yeah, I'm trying to look at. Okay, I guess the Ottomans have taken a little bit more land from the Mamluks. When was the most? Okay, so a recent war did happen between them. So finally the Ottomans have kind of put their foot on the gas pedal and started to go, because Hungary is going to have a hard time trying to expand anymore. They're kind of just stuck in the fact that they have to just stay where they're at now, because, are they going to expand into the Ottomans? No, probably not. Expand into the Austrians? No, probably not. Expand into the Polish? No, probably not. So they kind of have nowhere to go. I mean, maybe they could go more into Bohemia, but I think that would also, even though they are quietly becoming extremely strong right now. I mean, they had a really rough period, but I think they're behind themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Russia war against Sweden that gets them against Lithuania, because I mean, I could see them, Denmark, the Ottomans, just smacking down the Lithuanians and Swedens, because Lithuania and Sweden are really not that strong in comparison to these three. Also, Austria's had a good time kind of reuniting the HRE to just be their own empire. I mean, they've taken a lot of stuff here, especially when they haven't been able to do any expanding into Hungary. I mean, and Bohemia is also, okay, do we have a religion? There's no dominant faith. I guess there really can't be a dominant faith when there basically is no Catholic nations here. I mean, I guess it could be between Reformed and Protestant, but I don't know how the religious wars really go down if there's no Catholics. Yeah, Austria looks great now. I mean, they have a lot more land in southern Germany. They kind of seem to be a budding power, even though I feel like they've been doing pretty poorly this entire game. But yeah, France, I feel like, is really coming around to be really strong right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if France goes for like Burgundy or some of these other nations that they were beating on earlier in the game, but have had a really tough time to kind of beat on now. And even maybe going into more of Italy could be an option for them, just because while I think these Italian nations are strong enough, I think it'll be tough for them to kind of fight off France. And we'll see. I think once this truce with the Mamluks ends for the Ottomans, it will instantly be a war between the Ottomans and Mamluks for the next piece of land. So that should be pretty interesting to see what goes down there. I mean, I think the Ottomans definitely are, again, a lot stronger at this time, but I don't know, they still seem relatively like weary of a battle. So I don't know how well a war would go against anyone, but I mean, we'll see. I guess the Mamluks are just in a poor spot no matter what, though. So we'll see when this ends if they do go for a quick war against the Mamluks anytime soon. Okay, so they don't go for the Mamluks, but they do go against AQ in just a quick war. And I guess they maybe brought in Persia. No, they didn't. So they go against these guys, AQQ, and it looks like they're just going to easily smack down these guys right away. And it doesn't even look like there is anything going on, because I'm just like, wow. Yeah, the easy W for the Ottomans. I guess they're also going against Ormuz over here, or someone else. They just had a quick annex, though. So maybe the Ottomans will have a little bit more time before they go. But also they lost their alliance with the Persians. So I guess that kind of sucks for Persia, because I feel like they'll probably be on the chopping block between Russia and the Ottomans. I mean, Russia and the Ottomans are both really strong, and I don't think Persia could really hold them off if it was a 2v1. They were tag teaming them. Moves right now. And yeah, I think the Mamluks definitely are on the chopping block, but I just don't know how long it'll be before there's a real... Also, why are the Mamluks going against the Chinook? Isn't that all the way up here? Frisia. The Mamluk California. Why is this a thing? Genuinely, why is this a thing? In the entire game, why do we have a Mamlukian California? Like, sure, you know, they can colonize places, but why is the thing the Mamluks colonized California? That's a long way away from their empire. Like, I don't know why you don't just like colonize this, or maybe, you know, you guys could have colonized, you know, Australia or like somewhere over here, but instead you go all the way over to California. I guess, oh, this is Frisian Columbia. I mean, somehow Friesland has kept up their colonies for a while being in between a lot stronger colonizers like France. I mean, would I even say Portugal is a strong colonizer? I feel like they're kind of going to be cooked pretty soon. I'm just surprised that Spain hasn't attacked them. There's a French versus Spain war right now. That's extremely interesting. I guess it's a Spanish-Scottish colonial war. And I mean, France is clearly the weaker nation, but they could pull it off here just because I think they probably have more men in colonial Europe than Spain does. And I think Hungary here, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one to go down at the very least. I mean, also Austria's here. I mean, yeah, I guess France, even though I gave them all this strength, you can't keep up nations, and they're just genuinely smacking Spain right now. Spain is smacking France right now. There's literally just so many people. Like, what is the... Like, yeah, they have twice as many men, if not more than twice as many men. I just wish I could see the amount of casualties, because it just seems like this would be a crazy war in that aspect. But the fact that we spent all game allowing France to be the strongest nation, and they still get smacked around by Spain around as much. I mean, France, you just need to drop. You need to drop your ally right now. Like, if they tag team with Poland, I feel like it could be... They could be in a good spot. I mean, I don't know. Maybe even tag. Also, Ottomans versus And the Ottomans now have the #1 military. So it looks like even though we gave France all this help, Ottomans and the Spanish. What a beautiful game. Guys, I think your 110k stack could maybe move and take some extra land somewhere else. Yeah, looking at it from up here, the Ottomans are taking over a solid amount of land. Who's this? Medina. Okay, so Medina teams up with the Ottomans to take down the Mamluks, which, I mean, honestly, good team up. Would I say it's like an Avengers level team up? No. But, I mean, honestly, the Ottomans are pretty solidly strong. And I think the fact that, yeah, I mean, they're just kind of crushing here. And also Persia, I mean, they're doing pretty solidly as well. And now Spain's going to take the most of everything. I don't know. I think they're probably... I just want to see a peace deal because I feel like the Ottomans have to be just destroying the Mamluks. Plus 73. Because, I mean, I guess you don't want the Spanish to get much land either. It is kind of a trade-off because Spain, yeah, +1 is crazy. Okay, and now the Ottomans end it, and they got a lot to take from them. I mean, clearly they're in a good spot, but I think it will be the Spain versus Ottoman war is going to happen very soon. Maybe you could say Russia is close. Maybe. And I guess Spain ended their war pretty quickly, but the Mamluks are now going against Persia. So I would say the other thing that's going to happen is the Persia versus Ottomans war. I mean, I guess Persia is really strong as well. So there's a lot happening in India. I will have to do one where India all get pushed in here, especially if they're united at the very beginning of the game. But Poland, Lithuania. I mean, Poland and Lithuania each look good, and because they're allied with each other, I mean, I feel like it's going to be pretty hard to attack against them. One of different powers here. Because there's like Spain, France, Austria-Hungary, Poland, Lithuania. Again, I'm just kind of surprised that Russia hasn't gone and attacked Sweden. Like, Spain just seemingly cannot be able to defeat the Mamluks. Like, they just have a tough time in the desert over here. So I think the Ottomans would Muz, or Muz probably will, get the victory here. I guess I don't know. Were they actually Christian? No. Catholic here. But I guess because we had both France and England together, theirs kind of went together in this timeline. I mean, I guess you could say all of North America is probably Catholic. French California, Portuguese Louisiana, and the Kokomos are fine. We knew this would happen from the very beginning. I'm just surprised it took them over 200 years from when 1492 happened to really start the downward spiral. I'm also just surprised that Friesland has lasted so long out here. I mean, they don't really have them as just taking over the land here, but Ming is still around. I mean, they look terrible. We also have Siam. I mean, Bengal is also kind of ripping. They're the 7th strongest military. They're going against Dali, I think. Tangu. I don't know which ones. I guess it's this little province over here. So I guess they're not really in a crazy war. Oh, I missed it. Oh my God. The Hungary versus Ottomans war. This is something where they're just the allies of Crete. And Crete is just chilling here. It's just Hungary getting gobbled. Just straight gobbled by both Venice and so France is also in a war against, okay, some animist kingdoms with Venice still. Yeah, they are. So the Ottomans took, I think, a pretty big chunk of the Hungarian land, and Hungary is also getting Polanded. But no one can really attack Hungary, even if they lose all this land, because they're still allied with Spain. So there's a little Crete war, which I don't even understand how it's still going on. I guess Crete still is alive. Not anymore. And Venice didn't even take any Hungarian land. It was all Poland. And I mean, Poland looks great as well, but Hungary, while very diminished, didn't get as destroyed as I thought they would. And now we have the Ottomans finally going for the Mamluks. And yeah, I think this is the Mamluks. And I think the Ottomans really have steamrolled into being the strongest nation in the entire world. Well, yes, you could say Spain technically has the strongest military right now. I think if they went and fought against the Ottomans, which could happen soon because they are on each other's borders and they are just pushing up against each other, I think right now the Ottomans would win just because, I mean, they've been steamrolling everyone. And looking back at France, yeah, I don't know. They're still in a terrible position. They just don't seem to be that great of a nation. And I don't know. It's just France. It's just weak old France. And the fact that France was the nation that we made initially strong to start the game is just funny because they're terrible. They genuinely are terrible. And looking at the Ottomans are potentially going to get full annexed, or going to full annex the Mamluks. Yeah, they basically did. I mean, the Ottomans look really good now. They've got the nice little Mediterranean wraparound. And yeah, them and Spain look very, very similar. Looking at development, though, I feel like that's the... Okay, so the Ottomans have hit number 1. France still number 2. Russia, Spain, Persia, Deccan, Bengal. They're all there. I mean, France is still there. They're still in it. They just haven't expanded in a while. And I feel like that's what's hurting them somewhat. Just not being able to expand. But I think also just the fact that they're really had some big problems throughout their entire lifespan as a country here, where they've gone into the Protestants, they become Protestants, they've done, I don't know, they've done so many different things that have hurt them, and they've had all these rebels, and they lost. See, the thing is, they lost that one battle against Trier where I stepped in, and since then they've been terrible. They were an unstoppable force until then, and that just ruined all of their momentum, which is sad, but that's how it goes in this game. French California, solid. I mean, it all kind of looks normal. Finally, the Mamluks got pushed out. Oh, I guess maybe that's what they could have been fighting over, this piece of land, because the Mamluks did have some colonies, but I think it'll be pretty hard for them to last much longer. They don't have the greatest prestige. They don't really have a lot of anything. And Venice, I mean, they're back on it. They did lose that one war to Hungary earlier in the game, but I feel like they've been kind of back on it. And I mean, Friesland is somehow still extremely strong. They're going against Kokomos right now, which is funny. And I think they might lose it in their land to Kokomos. Kokomos isn't even that much behind everyone in terms of like technological stuff. But they are going against a lot of different people in a lot of different wars. So I think they might get full annexed by Portuguese Mexico pretty soon. I mean, Portuguese Mexico is huge. They've got all of Mexico, and they've got some down here. I mean, New Granada is also pretty big. Spanish Peru is pretty big as well. But I think Portuguese Mexico is probably, honestly, as strong as Portugal. And something that I'm really surprised about, and guys, it's been this long, but I'm going to force a war between Spain. I just kind of want to see it happen. Spain, you guys can do this. Yes, we're declaring war. Yes. Like, these guys aren't really going to do anything, I don't think. I just want to see this war happen because I think Spain should easily... Okay, also, how are the Portuguese men just in Spain? Just in the middle. They're at Madrid already to begin with. I just don't know why this war didn't happen sooner, because like their entire power is technically based here. And I think it's going to pretty quickly subside, and they should lose all this land potentially. And all their power is based out here. You cut off all the power here, and they don't even have that much in terms of... Okay, also, this is a crazy war. I mean, Bengal looks really strong, and Deccan also looks really strong. I mean, wow. These are huge in India. But it's all being controlled from this little piece of land. So all you have to do is just take out this little piece of land, and Portugal as an empire is not really much of a thing. And there they do a little piece out, and there's still a little piece of Portugal here. And honestly, I might... Okay, wait. Portugal got they got junior partnered by Brazil. They're now a junior partner of one of their colonies. So their colonies are all under, I guess and that's actually really interesting, where they now are fully in Brazil, and now I would assume Portuguese Mexico is way more likely to revolt. So that should be pretty interesting to see when that does happen. Same thing with like Portuguese Louisiana. They also might want to revolt. I think whoever does revolt first is going to pretty easily smack on Portuguese Brazil. I mean, they're weak. Like, Portuguese Louisiana and Portuguese Mexico maybe aren't fully as strong as these guys, but I think are pretty close to being the same level. I guess Brazil, if they take this land up here, it's their land. It's not anyone else's land. They're also just going on a crazy attack spree against French Louisiana. They just went against French California. They're just trying to take over everyone. And I mean, it's working, bro. Like, look at all this land they've just immediately taken over. It will be really interesting to see how much, or how long they actually last. Because again, like, I think Portugal as a kingdom was pretty weak, and Spain somehow also seems really weak right now. I don't know how they became technically the sixth strongest military, below France. Definitely below Russia. I mean, Russia's really... Persia looks weak. Maybe they lost a war. Yeah, they did lose a war against Russia and the Ottomans. I wasn't even paying attention to that, but it did happen. It was Austria at that point. But Spain is still up there. I still think they're a force to be reckoned with. I do think I will, when it gets to like 1750, I'm just going to start having people attack each other, because I think that's just funny. We can do like a little circle. France attacks Spain. Spain attacks the Ottomans. The Ottomans, because are they still... They're still allied with Russia. Okay, France attacks Spain. They call in the Ottomans. Spain has a lot of allies. Like, I mean, I guess just the France mark. Yeah, we're technically strong. Also, Russia's just insanely big at this point. Yeah, you can say like, oh, based on the military or based on the development or whatever. one nation stronger than the other nation. But does that really matter? I think I'd rather have, the France and Ottomans versus Austria, Hungary, Spain. I would like to get Venice. I mean, I guess Venice could also be part of it too. But I think if Venice is a part of it, they probably should just smack on these guys. I don't know. I guess we'll see when they do have this war. I guess since, again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. Crazy how that works. It's you can't just force something to happen. You have to see. Okay, but also, Venice is attacking Florence right now. So, I mean, wow. They didn't even take anything, though. I guess maybe they took some land up here. But, yeah, I just want to see who wins this war between, France, Venice, and the Ottomans versus these guys. France, it's time to take back your territory. You're going for Centauge. You're declaring war. Centauge. And see it happen. But I would think that the French are going to win. And this is a war that could have happened in game. The AI could have called this. But I think the AI is a little too scared of Spain has all these men that are in the New World because they're all these colonies. It's like, those guys are not going to, sure, they technically have all these men, but they're not really going to fight in this war in Europe. But yeah, I think France could still be in. Spain can win in these different fronts. I mean, I guess there's 3 fronts. There's the France, Venice, Austria border. There's the French-Spain border. And then there's, of course, the Hungary, Ottomans. And weird play, I'd say. Hungary probably wants here. France wants the land that they gave up. Spain, there's a lot of different plays.